Gopala Astrology channel, where the science meets astrology for common man's understanding. Subscribe and stay tuned to this channel for continued astrological updates. Welcome to Gopala Astrology channel, ladies and gentlemen, once again. And we took a couple of weeks break with Rajiv, and I was traveling, he was traveling, and he's back in Delhi now, and I'm back in Singapore. We both are now plotted for starting our new session of videos, and we call this as Astro-Science for Dummies. See, our motive here is to start from the very basic part of Vedic astrology, and we are going to put a lot of planets in Bhavas, planets in signs, and planets in stars, and a lot of things we have ambition in our video channel. Please, if you are new for this channel, please hit on the subscribe button, and also never forget to hit the bell icon, as this series of dummies for astrology is going to be a very super hit one. Okay, so welcome again, Raju bhai. So how is the weather in Delhi now? You seem to be wearing a jacket tonight.
Yes, it's very cold.
Okay.
And first, welcome, sir. I missed all the videos a lot, and I was waiting, and because of the timing issues, we were not able to shoot the videos. But now I am back with my queries. So these queries are maybe very on the basic ones, but we'll ask because it will clear all the doubts.
Definitely, Rajiv. So you are free. Please feel free to ask any questions. You can stop me in between, and absolutely nothing to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to just start with our basic sharing of the screen, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the basic part of the astrology. Okay, let me know if you are able to see my screen well, and then we can continue. All right. So let me do that. Make it as a bigger screen now. So I hope you are able to see the screen clearly, right? So
yes.
I'll put into one corner. Maybe this way is better. Whatever is better. Okay, so let's put this one here. And now let's begin our journey of Vedic Astro-Science for Dummies. Okay, so I'm not talking something which is new. I'm talking about a science which is perhaps more than 10,000 years old. Okay, so from time immemorial, our sages in India have come out with this topic of astrology, and one of the most noted personalities that we always respect in Vedic astrology is Parashara Maharshi, right? So his concepts and his books are all floating everywhere. You go to any astrological institute in India, they will talk about Parashara or a Shastra. Okay, so let's begin our journey, which was more than 10,000 years ago. Our sages, especially Parashara Maharshi and his team, they used to observe the night sky, in a very particular way, and they used to see the fixed pattern of stars used to appear exactly at the same location, whenever they are observing. And they got to become more and more curious, and they made their observations every single night. Okay, and for some reason, they also knew the geometry and trigonometry and stuffs like that in those days itself. And they found that from the point of observation, every 30 degrees, the pattern of stars, especially the bright spots, it's not exactly the star itself, the bright spots, when they observe, they can make a particular shape, and after 30 degrees, a new shape is going to be formed, So they started labeling them, and they were very curious about this topic. And they said the first particular impression, which looks like the head of a ram, or the male sheep, they called it as Mesha Rashi, right? So likewise, they saw the head of a bull, and they said that it is Vrishaba. So like that, it went on, and they identified 12 such patterns, and they are labeled, and they are well identified. And that's how, when you really imagine only the earth is there and remove all other zodiacal bodies, other grahas, you will find a beautiful imaginary 360-degree belt, something like the blue color belt I'm showing in this slide. So this belt was called by these sages as Bachakra. But chakra is a wheel, and bhumi is bhu. So something which is like a wheel around our planet Earth. right? So this was the very, very first beginning stage of Vedic Science of Astrology. All right. So am I making sense here? They have found 12 such signs at an angle of precise angle of 30 degrees. 12 times 30 is equal to 360 degrees. So it becomes a complete belt. So this is the very first information that I want to always give it to my viewers. All right. Now, one more point here I would like to say, if you are really curious, you are a science student, I know that you are a famous person in physics and you are a research scholar, I know that. So you always will be curious, how is it that whatever I told you makes sense to you now, right? So how do you understand this? If it is a beautiful non-cloudy day, non-cloudy night, you can go and observe these bright spots. See, you must understand the difference between the star itself and the bright spots, right? So when you observe on a non-cloudy night, you will see that there are some bright spots like this in one particular area. And that particular one looks like, for example, two twins who are hugging each other, right? So if you happen to connect the dots properly, especially the bright spots properly, and you can call them as the zodiac sign of Gemini, right? So likewise, you can make any number of efforts to get into other zodiac signs as well. You know, so it can, if you connect a certain portion of the star, you can imagine a lion standing there, and you can also imagine that there is a crab and stuffs like that. Okay, so you have to connect the dots and you have to imagine properly, and then you really see the zodiac signs in your own lives. See, even when we were in the high school, we were taught that sun is in the center and everything goes around it in this manner, right? In a very simple way. But as the science has grown up nowadays, the science says that this is also an obsolete model. The real model is not even this, it is this. That means the sun is going at a very, very high speed around the Milky Way galaxy through the keeping the center of a black hole as in the center, and then all the planets are being dragged actually. So this is the current latest model that the science has given us, you know. So that means we need to keep on upgrading our knowledge, and more and more you know, the more and more you don't know. That is the level of knowledge we should gain, and that's the right direction, right? So why I showed you this slide is because you need to understand all these 12 zodiac signs can be connected into human body. So many people think that astrology is a dummy science, it's a pseudoscience and all that. Whenever some people make YouTube videos saying that these astrologers are dummy, they do not know what they are talking about, they are all talking about general things and they predict. And that's really a nonsense thing, you know, because this subject is going on for more than 10,000 years, and people are not dummy to just follow this for 10,000 over years, right? You can bluff one person at a time or a few people at few times, but you cannot bluff everybody at all times for 10,000 years. So whoever made, I feel pity and sorrow for those guys who make the videos in the YouTube, you know, and then they say that astrology is a pseudoscience, which is totally a nonsense. You need to learn this subject, you know, and you need to understand and apply it. Only when you apply it, you will get the real gist of this beautiful science. Okay, so I was very new to this 30 years ago when my grandfather used to teach me this and all that, and I learned a lot of things from the seniors in our family, right? So I have that background, and I used to question, like how you are going to question me now, right? So I said, what is these dead planets which are going around the sun got to do with our human body? We are living chemicals. I used to call myself as a living chemical, and how is these planets going to influence me and stuffs like that? So I had been asking these questions for many years actually, and I found answers after I started practicing astrology myself. Okay, now let's try to correlate the human body with the 12 zodiac signs or the Bachakra that I showed you. So how do we do that? So if you say this as a Kala Purusha typical personality, we call him as Kala Purusha. So if you imagine this is the head of the Kala Purusha, the region between the tip of the head until the mouth region, we call that as Kala Purusha Kundali's Aries, or the first house, or Mesha Rashi. The region between his mouth and the beginning of the shoulder blades, that means the entire area of the neck and the mouth region, we call that as Taurus or Vrishabha Rashi, right? The two twin structures in our body, that is the two arms, represents Gemini, which is the Mithuna Rashi, right? So the entire area of thoracic cavity, which houses our lungs and heart, is actually known as Cancer zodiac sign or Karkataka Rashi, right? So in Tamil, we call it as Kadagam. In the same way, the Leo is actually found on the upper abdomen, right? Upper abdomen portion represents solar plexus. If you have heard about the seven nadis in the body, the solar plexus lies there. That is where the ego of our being is being focused there. So that is where the zodiac sign of Leo or Simha Rashi is located. The right in the center, the Nabhi area, we call it as Virgo or Kanya Rashi. Just behind and a little bit below, you can find two kidneys that represents Libra, right? So that is the symbol of justice, right? So that's right there where our kidneys are located. The sexual organ actually represents Scorpio zodiac sign or Vrishchika Rashi, right? It's also known as Kita Rashi. It represents the Kitas or the insects. And then the entire thigh region is called the Sagittarius, or it is also known as Dhanas Rashi, right? The kneecaps, exactly the knee joint, you know, the kneecaps with the patellar bone, that is actually called the Capricorn or Makara Rashi. All right. Then the calf region or the entire leg region between the feet and the knee joint is called Aquarius or Kumbha Rashi, right? And the last part of our body, that is the feet, which represents also the yin-yang symbol in Chinese mythological aspects. It is actually called the Pisces zodiac sign. It is also called the last zodiac sign, which is the Moksha Karaka, the one which gives the salvation to the human souls, right? So right from the head, that means the tip of the head to the feet, all these 12 zodiac signs, what I showed you as a blue color wheel, is being distributed. And that is how closely we are related to the cosmos. You know, there is a saying in Sanskrit, Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande. So as the atom is the universe. This is what the Sanskrit scholars of those days used to say. I would like to extract that statement and I would say Yatha Pinde Tata Brahmande is equivalent to Yatha Sharire Tata Brahmande, right? Whatever is there in our Shariram is going to be synonymous inside the universe itself, right? So this is a very close relation between the human body and the 12 zodiac signs, and we can represent them both in the South Indian way and the North Indian way in this manner. I'm going to just, since I'm saying that these lessons are going to be for people who are really new to this, and I call this as Astro-Science for Dummies, I would like to show all the details between these two charts as well. It's the same thing, but two different formats, right? So as I told you, please relate this first portion of the Kala Purusha Kundali as Mesha Rashi or Aries. So this becomes number one, and South Indians, we prefer to write it in this format, and the North Indians, they like to put it in this format. I will explain the differences between the two also in a very simple way for the beginners. Okay, so Aries or Mesha Rashi becomes the head of the Kala Purusha. The second house is written in this, okay, of the Kala Purusha Kundali. So it will be Taurus or Vrishabha Rashi, then Mithuna, Kataka, Simha, Kanya, Tula, etc. And also the English names are all clearly given, right? Until the zodiac sign of Pisces. Now, what is the main difference between the North Indian and the South Indian format, my friend? It's very simple. So it starts with, it's actually a diamond-shaped structure here. So what we like to put is, put a diamond or a rhombus shape and put a cross here. So when you do that, what happens? The one which is the topmost portion, this becomes our first house or ascendant. I'm going to make a video on ascendant in the next session, because I don't want to confuse the newcomers to astrology. Okay, always remember there is something called first house or the ascendant, which is same as Mesha Rashi here for the Kala Purusha. It's an imaginary horoscope. Okay, so that comes in the apex of this rhombus or the diamond. So it is very easy to see 1, 4, 7, and 10th house, right? So it is so easy. First house, fourth house, seventh house, and 10th house, it forms what is known as a quadrant, right? So these are called very important houses, and we also have trinal houses. So that also can be seen as 159 houses. So both the ones which are in the quadrants are called Kendrasthanas, and the ones 159, which are called triangular houses, are called Trikonas. So it's very, very important. The Kendrasthana houses are called Vishnusthanas. That means it is the male energy of the universe. And then the triangular houses 159 is called Lakshmisthana. It's called the feminine energy houses of the cosmos, right? So we give a lot of importance to the trinal houses and the quadrant houses. And that's why North Indian format clearly puts this. The moment that you see any planet in the 1, 4, 7, 10, we know that the Kendrasthanas are occupied by this planet easily. Of course, if you are very well versed with South Indian format, you can also see that 1, 4, 7, 10. But North Indians prefer this way. That's all. That's all the difference. You can always see the first house is here, second here. Alternatively, it goes third, fourth, fifth, sixth, etc. Right? So Dushtanas, the sixth houses and seventh, eighth houses, always seen as the inverted triangle. You can always see ninth house and fifth house as the sideways triangle, and it's your own imagination. You can talk about this format in your own way. All that I got to say to you guys is that you can follow either of them. It's exactly the same. All right. So, any questions before I go to the next slide, Rajiv? You have any questions on this?
Yes, I have one question. You have shown us the slide where Sun is moving and the other planets is also dragging along with that. Yes, this one.
Yes.
And you have showed us the first picture where they have seen the certain patterns of the stars, and those are the fixed stars. So I am just curious whether that pattern, like as the Sun is moving, that pattern will change or it will be remain fixed, the stars pattern.
Okay. Let me also add certain other points. See, the Indian sidereal astrology, we call this as the Vedic science as the sidereal system. Okay, so there is a big difference between the sidereal system and the solar system. The Westerners, they give a lot of importance to the sun, and they put the sun in the center, and everything is in reference to that. That means all the zodiac signs are being viewed with sun as the reference. And in Vedic Indian astrology, we put Earth as the center. So that's why it's called geocentric system. So when you're talking about geocentric system, we put Earth as stationary. We assume Earth as stationary because we are living on Earth. And we don't literally feel the movement of Earth. We are observing from Earth and we only see the movement of other things. Of course, our sages, they knew that the sun is in the center, Earth is going around. They knew that, okay? And they also knew that the Earth is spherical in shape. That is why they use the word Bhugol for studying the geography, right? They all knew that. But what they said that very scientifically, which I fully 100% accepted, because we are living on planet Earth and all the effects of the zodiacs and the planets are coming to us on Earth, right? We don't go to sun and we don't live there. Of course, our sun is actually representing our Atma or the soul. But everything happens to us on planet Earth. That's why we should keep Earth as the reference. And to answer your question, when you put as Earth as the center, whatever happens around, you just take it as it is. And then you make what is known as Panchangam. Okay? Panchangam is like a data handbook that our sages have been writing from time immemorial. Panchanga will have 5 elements. Pancha means 5. So it will have Tithi, Vara, Yoga, Nakshatra, and Karana. There are 5 elements which makes up a lunar day, right? So first we talk about the Tithi, and we will talk about the Varam, and we will talk about the Yoga, Karana, and Nakshatra of that day. That means wherever the moon goes around the Earth in the background of these zodiac signs, we will build our own calendar, and that is called lunar calendar, which lasts for about 27.5 days roughly. Okay, so we don't follow the English calendar of 30 and 31 days and stuffs like that. That's a Gregorian calendar. It is followed by the Englishmen, and they spread that to the whole world. But Indian classical astrologers, they follow the Panchanga system. So whenever you do that, even the Earth is being dragged along with the other planets to the sun, which is going at a very, very high speed around the Milky Way galaxy. But still, you have to keep Earth as center and observe what is going around and follow our Indian Panchanga. Right? Did I answer this question?
Yeah, so maybe like when the sun is moving, so as the whole this Milky Way galaxy is expanding, so those fixed stars are also expanding, I think, and they remain stationary.
I will
Means
make a little
like
correction here. Little correction. Please understand, the cluster of stars forms certain bright spots. So many people will mislead you that it's a star. Bharani is a star. Actually, it's a cluster of stars which make some certain bright spots, and then together they form certain. When you connect those bright spots, it's going to look like an object, and that holistic one is called a zodiac sign. That means it's not just one star, it's millions and billions of stars are around. So our universe is expanding, it's going on. But still, those bright spots, and these are considered as very constant, and we, even astronomically, they are very constant features, and we are going to follow them. All right? So does that answer your question, my friend? So in a nutshell, in this video, all that I've got to say is...
One question is this one, another question. So you have mentioned like Aries have like head, face and nose up. So you means like Aries will, if the sign Aries is there, then it whatever the like stars which form the Aries will impact our face.
Not exactly the face. This is just a theoretical, hypothetical position of a chart. See, there may be a person who is born with the ascendant or as Aries and also the moon sign as Aries. For him or her, that is applicable. Okay, for some, when I take up the next class and I explain what is Lagna itself, you will know that the first house of Kala Purusha Kundali can be taken by any of the 12 zodiac signs. It's not just Aries. Aries is an example. Maybe, for example, a person is born with Sagittarius as the first house of his horoscope or her horoscope. So then the equation changes. Okay, their face area will have all the features what is being explained for Sagittarius. Right? Sagittarius, fiery sign, blah, 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 will come to them. So that is why we have different type of combinations of human beings, right? We are 8.8 billion people on this planet, roughly. So all people are unique. God has created all of us as unique ones based on our karmic capsules that we have got from our past life. We are being born in certain time, and everything is dictated by the time and second of that birth. You know, the moment we say the Atma Pravesham happens, a unique chart is born, and from there, the destiny of that person's soul in this body goes on. You know, the moment the person's soul enters, there is also a death that is already decided, right? The moment the birth happens, the death also is fixed for that person. He or she has got the free will, the 50% free will to always enhance it, or if the free will is taken in a negative way, it may become reduced also. The lifespan, the lifestyle, everything is still in the hands of the man or the soul that is taking its birth, the 50% of it. The remaining 50%, it has to go through all the karmic cycle, what mistakes it has done in the past, it has to pay the tax in this birth, you know. If you have taken money from somebody from the past life, you have to pay it back in this month, in this life. There is a lot of karmic theory about it. All that I don't want to complicate in the first video. This is the video for the people who are really dummy in terms of Vedic astrological science. I hope I have not complicated this. It's very simple. 12 zodiac signs I showed you in the form of the Bachakra, and that can be synchronized with that of human body. This is just the message that I wanted to convey today in the first video. And in the subsequent videos, we go step by step, one by one, so that our viewers are going to follow these videos. And this time when I went to Bangalore, they asked me, you have made 70 plus videos, and how is that you are not able to give us the sequence? They wanted to know the learning sequence. Okay, so if we go to one channel in the YouTube, and if it follows a particular sequence, everybody can start from the basics, and then it won't be Greek and Latin for them. You know, some people try to connect with our channel right in the beginning. It's good, but for some, they bump in somewhere in between, and then they see stars, right? So the aim of this video from now on is to kick off the step-by-step methodology that we are going to follow, and we will cover all the aspects of the 12 zodiac signs, who are the rulers and who are the the friendly signs, and all those stuffs in a sequential way. So let's follow a sequence, and if you have any other further questions, you are free to ask me. If not, we can close this video and go to the next one. All right. Anything else you want to ask, Rajiv?
No, nothing from my side. Like just waiting for the another video.
Oh,
that I can.
So it
Yes.
was very nice of you being polite and asking a lot of questions which were very meaningful to our viewers, I believe. So ladies and gentlemen, whoever is watching this video for the first time, please click on the subscribe button right there. And also do not forget to press the bell icon so that you will get those videos as and when we upload it to the YouTube. Okay. So we welcome you to the journey of learning Vedic astrology in a scientific way, step by step. All right. Thank you very much, Rajiv. See you. Good night. Bye bye. Have a nice
Thank
week.
you. Bye.